Life Game Design is a Notion app that helps you organize your life and design your life to be something that is so fulfilling that you won't use other mediums to escape the life that you've designed for yourself. And the process that we have to do that is first we have an Envision page, Envision mini games, which is going through the vision of what you would want your life to be in maybe like 5 to 10 years and just getting all of those ideas out of your head. Then we get on to designing a life in the present. We have to design what our life will look like now. So in the span between now and a year, we have to really dial in and figure out what is going to be fulfilling for us at this very moment. And then from there, once we figure out those things, we focus and achieve them. And then we finally come to this section, which is reflecting and realigning on all the achievements that we've made throughout the season or the month or the week and the day. It's broken up into those categories. So I'll show you the way that we're going to reflect on our achievements, and that's using my OctaCore framework. Now, OctaCore is a way to understand, organize, and optimize all the different areas of life you have to manage in order to design a fulfilling life in the first place. And the way I built it is that I'm a big fan of the Fallout series, so the special system, the attributes that allow you to understand different play styles, I really wanted that for life. I really wanted a system to understand the framework of life and how to design it into something that would be fulfilling to me. And so I worked like 5 years to figure out how to take all of these different areas of life and put them into a system to be able to understand them. I'll show you it right now. So the system that you can see over here is OctaCore, and it spells an acronym called SPECIAL with all of these different areas of life. They're evenly split into two groups of 4 attributes. These are the essential attributes. It's what you think of when you think of physical health, your work, your closest relationships, and your mental health. Then we have elevating attributes, which are your life admin kind of things, maintaining your environment. Then we have experience, which is everything you do for leisure. We have creativity, which is any creative outlet that you have. And then you have intelligence, which is learning, planning, and finance. So within all of these different areas, I know there's so many achievements that you've made throughout all these different areas. And it's a really good way to have a holistic view of what your life looks like and to tell you what each of these areas means to you in terms of fulfillment. Because if I've learned anything from game design and the way that game designers get gamers hooked on games, it's that they let them find what is fulfilling to them so that they enjoy the gameplay, so that they do more productive things. And they even do frustrating and boring tasks because they know it's so fulfilling to them, because they found what is fulfilling to them. And I've made that system for life. And so in all of these different areas of life, I've made different achievements and I've tracked them using a project and task manager that I use called Life Game Design Editor in Notion. And it's in its pre-release stages at the moment. And this is what it looks like. This is what the structure of Life Game Design looks like. Basically, you have these different OctaCore, or like I said, the acronym creates SPECIAL. You have these different attributes of life, and then within there you create specific areas, and then you have projects, tasks, and notes all connected together. I'll show you what that practically looks like really quickly. So over here, I have my strength page. Strength is everything to do with physical health. Now, I have areas, I have achievements and projects, tasks, and notes to do with everything in physical health. So I can see all the projects that I have going on for my physical health. So I've got a 3-day fast planned. I've got to do an Invisalign checkup because I've had Invisalign done. And more importantly, I can see all the achievements. So every time you finish a project, it becomes an achievement over here. And you can see that all of these recent ones, even small things like recovering from a cold, having an amazing chest workout, and fixing, that's actually a big thing, fixing an imbalance in my shoulder. All of these achievements have different levels of fulfillment to you. And you can see that using the tier list ranking over here. Now, the tier list ranking is basically a really intuitive system. Everything starts at bronze. Every achievement you make starts at bronze, and it's up to you to put them into higher ranks and say, you know, these diamond ones are going to be the most fulfilling things that I've ever done in my life. Some of them you can see here, including the one that I just did recently, fixing my shoulder imbalance, which allowed me to push at the gym, investing in Invisalign, and fixing my mouth breathing, because I was a mouth breather for the first 22 years of my life. Anyways, let's go back to looking at all the different attributes within OctaCore. Each of these things is called an attribute, just for reference. That's how I categorize these wide buckets of life. And within each attribute, there are specific areas. For example, within physical health, there is my nutrition, there is my training, all those kind of things. As I go through the reflection, you'll probably understand and intuitively know what these areas are just by the color coding of them. Now, the color coding of them are inspired by the Infinity Stones, and so this is this artwork here. So let's get into the reflection to actually see how we're going to do this. And this is the page that we land on to do our season 1 reflection. We have 4 steps to do a guided reflection of the season. And in my app, I guide you step by step through all of these, breaking it down so it's really easy for you to understand exactly what you have to do in each stage. So I've already done the review part. It's where you look at your projects and tasks and just organize and tidy up all the things that you've actually done. Maybe you have some projects that you forgot to enter as achieved, and then you can tidy that up. And I've already done that. That's kind of like the boring part, but then we get into the thick of it. Then we get into the exciting part, which is the actual reflection. So the actual reflection is about gaining clarity on the month by reflecting on our highlights, our OctaCore distribution, and doing some deeper journaling to tell us what these achievements mean and how we can improve. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to open the highlights page, and now it's going to show me some highlight questions, and it's going to show me all of my achievements over here within that tier list system. So earlier what I did, it's like a cooking show. Earlier what I did is that I went through all of my bronze achievements and I was like, okay, what are the things that I can rank up into silver, into gold, into diamond? I would have already done that, so I'm just going to open my diamond achievements and just see what I have here. And I'm going to zoom out so I can see a bit more of them because there's quite a few. In the whole of the first 3 months of the year, I've had 25 diamond achievements. Now, these are some things that I've done that are so meaningful to me that I want to remember them as like the highlights of this whole year. This is a chronological list of all of the things that I did. And you can use this to figure out what are the most fulfilling things for you to do in your life so that when you come here for the next season, I want the next 3 months to have similar achievements to this. I want to have so many more fulfilling memories because if these memories mean so much to me and I can enjoy remembering them and reflecting on them, I'm going to work really hard to make more and more of them. I guess I'm just going to go over anything that pops out to me, especially within the diamond tier. And probably the first one is the End of Year Friends podcasting. Now, the End of Year Friends podcasting is this range of podcasts that I did on my YouTube channel where I help my friends pretty much do this exact same process where we go over their highlights and their OctaCore board. And yeah, I just help them reflect on all the achievements that they've made because I know that they don't give themselves credit for all the things they've done. And especially for the things like watching a series of anime, for things like gifts from your friends, for things like spending time with the people you love. All these things that people don't track traditionally in reflections that make up the core parts of fulfillment of our lives. Because I'm going to bet every other YouTuber who is going to show you a form of reflection is only going to focus on quote unquote productive things. But then they'll also tell you in the grand scheme of things, those productive things that we do, like making more money, applying to new jobs and all those things, while they are fulfilling, they don't make up the bulk of what fulfillment really means. So looking at these diamond achievements, I see exactly what is meaningful to me in my life. And those things are, doing the End of Year Friends podcasting, watching the Black Clover series. That was freaking awesome. I went to an observatory and I saw in a really extremely magnified telescope, I saw Saturn and the moon at insanely amazing detail. And that was absolutely insane. There's some other things I did, like I made a video that I worked on for 3 months to tell people about the philosophy of life game design, and it's the best work I ever did. And there's a bit of melancholy to that because it didn't do as well as I thought it would. And I actually got pretty upset about it. I'm kind of over it now, but at the time it really hurt me. And I talked to my friends about it. And I think the biggest consoling they gave for me is that if it did well or if it didn't do well, you would still be doing the same thing right now. And when I realized that, it really told me that the result doesn't matter if the goal is for me to keep on doing these things anyway. So there was that. I broke down the podcast into their own achievements, so I completed those. And then I recently got back into surfing as well. And the thing with surfing is that 11 years ago, I was absolutely terrified of surfing because I surfed at one of the hardest places to surf in the world. It's called Piha in New Zealand, and it's really rough. And I almost drowned like a couple times as a kid during those surfing sessions. But as I came to Taranaki, as the waves are a bit less rough over here, I got into it again, and honestly, I've had so much fun with it, and I'm actually getting a bit better now. I think over the last few months, I have been getting a hang of it, but at the start, I was absolutely terrible, and it's kind of embarrassing because my dad's a really good surfer. I also went out exploring Mount Taranaki. I live in New Plymouth, right around the base of this big mountain here. And yeah, just going up to it and seeing it in the view, it's a very popular spot, that place. And then, yeah, one of the times that we went surfing, we actually saw orca there. It was pretty insane, actually, seeing orca while you're surfing. But basically, I need to tell you the story, man. Basically, you're surfing in the water or whatever. I was surfing. I was like pretty exhausted at the time, and then I was going up to a group of surfers, and there was a set of waves coming in, and just over that set of waves that I saw coming in was this massive fin that came into the water, and I literally thought I was like seeing things because I was so tired and I was trying to get to the group, and then I just saw that massive fin come out, and none of them reacted. So yeah, I honestly thought I was like seeing things. And then they started like pointing and laughing to it. And I was like, are you fucking insane? Like, we're going to die. We're going to die. But they were friendly. They were friendly and they didn't do anything. So I personally got freaked out. I got out of the water as soon as I could in that. And I actually found someone who filmed it on the beach. So yeah, I had the thing with the orca, and then actually during this month is when I started to get the idea from the whole minigames thing. Because what happened with this app originally, I'll show you what it looked like over here in the dashboard. Basically, this is the homepage for Life Game Design. And over here, it's kind of difficult to tell how you're supposed to use this to design a life that's fulfilling to you. And there's all these tools that I've given people to use to do that. And basically they're here. You can plan, focus, you have your achievements, like all these small little things that if you don't really understand the structure of the app, it's really difficult to understand exactly how to use all of these tools. So I had to generate something that followed a structure like this to help you understand how you go about the process of designing a life. And it's the cycle that is continuous. And we are right in the reflect and realign stage where we have to reflect in order to create a better design of what my life would look like for the next 3 months. So let me go back to this achievements list, and probably apart from all the surfing, apart from all the exploration I did, apart from all the work on this app that I did, one of the things I'm most happy about is to do with strength, is to do with my physical health. And that is fixing my shoulder imbalance. So basically this shoulder over here, even as I lift this up, I can feel like a bit of a tension in this muscle here. And whenever I did push-ups, it would cause my shoulder to just like have so much pain that I literally could not even do like 1 or 2 push-ups. And it was so frustrating. It limited me so much because I got to the point where I love training. I got to the point where if I don't go to the gym, I'm in a bad mood the whole day. And it used to be the complete opposite. I used to hate going to the gym. So when I had that injury, it really hurt me. And that had been going on for almost a year now. But I went through a physio before and they couldn't help me. So I kind of gave up on myself. But as I came back to Taranaki, I figured out that, you know what, I'm actually going to try this again because I don't want this to be a limiting factor for me. And I finally got it sorted. So I'm just so happy that I don't have to put up with that stuff anymore. Like seriously, I was in the gym today and doing some shoulder press and doing some bench press. Anyways, let's get back to the review. So basically, what is the story behind my favorite highlights? I've kind of told you that already. So, going over here and what do these highlights tell me about myself? I'm just going to reflect on what I think these truly tell me about what I'm actually interested in. So, from these, it's like I love having conversations with my friends. I love watching like epic anime. I love getting gifts from my friends that mean a lot to me. Like this hat, it says seek discomfort. And I got it from my friend Derek, who I'm about to do another reflection with just after this. And this hat has made me focus up in the gym. Absolutely. Every time I see the reflection of the message in the mirror, I'm just reminded to seek the discomfort and the pain of, pushing myself. So there's that. And yeah, all this effort that I've put into building this app off the back of my savings, I'm like losing money every single week because the thing is I'm losing like a couple $100 every week to build this because I'm doing it out of the pocket of my savings because I really think this is something that gamers need and they need to use to change their lives. Because the thing is like if you can become addicted to this system, instead of designing and building a character in a game, you can design and build a fulfilling life for yourself and become addicted to that process. And the thing is, maybe games are going to be a part of that process, but you don't know until you log these things and literally do a tier list ranking of what these things mean to you. It'll be hard for you to understand if these things are truly fulfilling to you or if you're using them as an escape for yourself. So I'm just going to quickly look at the gold stuff that I've had to see if there's anything else. And I feel like they're all pretty much the same. There is some new ones over here that I remember. I had a family holiday. And we went to a place called Kita Kita Falls. I'm going to zoom in here. We went to a place called Kita Kita Falls, and it's this beautiful waterfall that's in Auckland in New Zealand. And at the same time around there, I went to do a 4-hour hike with my friend Derek, who came to visit me as well. And we just did a bunch of stuff. And over here is pretty much like very similar things. So there's not much more to talk about in there. So I kind of want to answer this last question here, which is what will I need to do to have more highlights like this in the future? And basically, I just have to plan out all of these things that I've already done. Like I want to do more podcasts and I've got one lined up that is coming soon. I want to do more work on the app. I want to produce more videos. So basically, I just need to plan and get these things done. And also I want to enjoy the time that I have while I build this thing. So I do want to go hiking more. So I'm going to move on to the second stage, which is the OctaCore. Now I'm just going to give you a little rundown again of how it works. Basically, there's these different areas of life which makes these columns. I'm just going to zoom out so you can see them all. Yeah, so these different areas of life that make all these columns, and you can see all of your achievements for each month that are over here. I'll zoom in a bit and then I'll zoom out again so you can see what that looks like. Basically, you have January, February, and March, and I'll zoom out so you can see all those areas. And once I expand it, then, yeah, we can see that I have all of these achievements scrolling down. And the thing this tells me is that whenever you have achievements that go down, but some of them cut off, that means you have less focus in that area, essentially. And this tells you, when I scroll down, this tells you what I've been focusing on. So attachment is to do with close relationships. You can see that there. Creativity is to do with any creative outlet that you have. For me, that's building this app. So of course, there's been a lot over here. And experience is to do with anything that is to do with leisure. And I had a family holiday. I visited my friend. So it's actually pretty accurate as to the reason why this is such a impactful and important part of the year. But as I go into February, it will look quite similar. But this is the time where I was like, man, I really need to dial in my work a bit more. So again, you can see that there's more focus within this section here as I scroll down, because that means I have more achievements in this. And that looks pretty much the same. I started doing some more things within intelligence. Intelligence is about learning, planning, and finances. These are the podcasts I listen to. These are the books that I'm reading, etc. So yeah, based on this OctaCore list, just by seeing it in a list like this with the numbers behind all the different achievements that you had for each of these things, you can see where are the most achievements. So in strength, I've had 17, persistence 33, again, this is life admin stuff, experience 56, this is all the leisure, creativity, that's me working on life game design, contribution is 1 because that's to do with your work, and because life game design doesn't pay for my living expenses at the moment, I don't classify it as work. contribution. Intelligence is to do with learning, planning. Attachment is to do with close relationships. And life force is about your mental health and spirituality. And that's actually something I feel like I need to focus on a bit more for this season. And we're going to get into that with these questions. So, which OctaCore attribute made the most impact and why? For me, that's obviously going to be creativity, because building this to help me understand, organize, and optimize all the areas of my life is the reason why I'm able to have achievements like this. Because before, 5 years ago, I would just procrastinate and do nothing and just play video games because my own life wasn't fulfilling. And until I figured out what was fulfilling to me, and I figured out how I can get more of these things done. Now, I've got to think on the second question here. What drained my energy and how can I avoid and reduce and deal with those things? Basically, what drained my energy is not focusing on this over here, life force, not doing self-reflection, not doing meditation. Even though I knew I should have, I kind of avoided it and tried to put more effort into my creativity. But I realized that I was kind of running away from the fact that I did have some self-reflection to do because I wasn't having the best habits and behaviors. So that's something I really need to talk to my friends about and get their advice on it, get some help from them to figure out how I can do better, and for them to help me and hold me accountable to the standard that I set myself for this season going forward. But now going on to a more positive side of this, what gave me energy and how can I do more of these things? Basically, what gave me energy was all the things that I just talked about in the previous things. Honestly, making progress on the app, while most of it is grueling and really hard, like just the fact that I've made big strides, like making these mini games over here, gives me a lot of energy because I know that this is something that can actually help people. And that's what gives me the energy. Even though the process of building this isn't fun, isn't that engaging, just knowing that it can help people is the part that drives me to keep on doing it. But there's also the things that I incorporate in my day that give me the fun that I need to keep on going, that balance my life out. And that's the experience. That's like watching the anime that I do. That's like going out and having a surf to kind of like get that cold plunge of the cold sea and trying to refresh my mind. So I'm not going to write these out because I'm kind of telling them to you. So yeah, going on to the next one, which is why didn't this season align with the OctaCore focus that I intended? And basically, I feel like it did very much align to the OctaCore focus that I intended. The only thing that I could have improved is, having more of these reflections and having more time with my own thoughts to understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And now the last question over here is, why do I want or not want my OctaCore distribution to look like this next season? If I haven't made it clear, the OctaCore distribution is how many achievements you have in all of these different attributes of life, of OctaCore. And so the distribution would be like, I have 66 in creativity, I have 56 in experience. So it's the overall distribution of all these different things, and how that makes you feel, because my OctaCore board is going to be so different from your OctaCore board because we're having different seasons of life. We're having different focuses in life. So for me at the moment, I know that this is the direction that I need to keep on going into, and I need to go on stronger for this because I really want to grow the YouTube channel so I can reach more gamers and help them. Because honestly, like, if I had it my way, I'd be giving this away for free, and I would be helping gamers, get over that addiction, build a fulfilling life for themselves so they don't have to be shamed about it when they come into self-development, when they want to change their lives. Because that's the thing that really pisses me off about self-development, is that they say that you've wasted your whole life playing games and all this stuff, but game design is like the underdog of sustainable productivity. Every technique they use in game design will teach you about how to be productive, but it's just not in the medium that you want it to be. Anyways, let's do some deep journaling over here, and we're going to do that looking at our projects. And this is just a mad stack of the list of all the things we've done. And that's basically using this as well. And this journal is, the first question is, what lessons did I learn from things that didn't go quite right? And I'm going to tell you about the board over here to do that. Because again, I'm not going to write these things down. This is something I want to tell to you. So basically what happened in March, during the time where I found out that I had to have these mini games, because I planned to launch this app fully on the 31st of March, just a few days ago. But what happened is that I discovered that I needed to have the structure of the mini games, because I thought if people understood the structure of the app, they would eventually be able to do all these things. But then I remembered the principle of game design is to guide the gamer through the experience of playing the game. And that's exactly what I crafted here. And that was what was missing. So I actually had to reformulate how life game design operated. And because of that, I kept the same deadline, and that really wasn't the right move. I should have moved the deadline because I wasn't ready for the launch because I didn't have these things sorted. So that did bring me down a little bit, but now I know exactly what I need to do. And who knows, maybe another thing will come up that I'm like, oh God, now I have to implement this. So if that does happen, that means I need to shift my deadline. So that was a lesson I learned from things that didn't go quite right. So how well did I stick to my plan and stay focused? Basically, during January, most of the year, I was having that family holiday for about 2 weeks. So that was the plan, to just enjoy the experience. And I did. But when I came back, it was a little bit hard to get back into focus work. But during February, I really proved to myself that I could get things done. But then March came around, and yeah, knowing that I had to, almost kind of redesign life game design to incorporate the mini games made me slack off a bit, because I was like, this is going to be so much work and I don't know if I can do it. But now I'm at the point where I'm making strides on it. I actually focused one of the main minigame pages over here, which is Focus and Achieve. And I've got the workings of all of these different things. Obviously, we're in the Reflect and Realign section, and it's working well because this video is going well. The next question. This is really hard for me because this is something that I've been struggling with. Again, from that time where I had the minigames problem, I was thinking, you know what, maybe this isn't going to work out. Maybe I'm not going to be able to help gamers change their lives. And because of that, I went into very degenerate things like downloading Tinder and like trying to get dopamine out of like, instant gratification, all those things. I started scrolling reels more and all of that kind of stuff. And because of that, it held me back from putting in more work, which I really need to do. And really, even now, I still feel a bit delusional. But if I didn't feel a bit delusional about how this was going to go, it was probably something that was never going to happen in the first place. So we'll see. If this works, then it'll be the best thing ever. And if it doesn't, then I would have learned a lot about myself during the journey. But yeah, I know that's something that I need to do now. So let's do it. Let's actually do this, because this is something that I wanted to do for a while and I couldn't work up the courage to do it by myself. So I'm just gonna go on my phone now and delete that bullshit from sucking up my time and attention. Can you see this? Wait. You see that ugly ass icon? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Sucking away my time and my energy. So it's kind of hard to show you, but it's gone now. And now we're on to what can I do to improve? And I've basically tried to finish one of them straight away, which is deleting Tinder and just getting out of that mentality that I need someone else to make me feel something. I need to design a fulfilling life for myself. But also what I need to do is focus on the most important things, which is building this app. I need to write more, and I need to make more videos about this to share it with people and to get the message out there that if you don't design a life that is fulfilling for yourself, you're probably not going to end up with a fulfilling life, and that kind of sucks. But you know how to build like fulfilling gameplay within a game. If you know how to do that, you know how to do it for your life. You just need to find the right system. And I'm just going to say it. This is it. This is it. And I want to give it to you. So basically, if I stay the same, I'm not going to make the release date for the next planned release of Life Game Design Pro. Basically, I want to be able to finish it in 2 months. And if I can do that, I'll be exactly where I need to be. So that's where I want to improve. And if I do more writing, if I share this message more, I can help more people. And so I'm just going to show you what we've done so far. We've done the reflection, which is in these 3 parts, which is the highlights, the OctaCore board, and the journal. And the final thing to do is just to look at your achievements in different other ways. It kind of takes all of the views that we've been through and shows you it in different styles. So this is a breakdown of the chronological order of all the things we did from January, February, and March. And we can see a really cool view, which is just a collage of pictures that we have. So we just have a collage of all the things that we've done in chronological order. And especially if you take the time to change all of these and design it, it really looks cool. And we've got the same with the board that you guys saw before. So over here, and the same with the pictures, I can see how my February looked in terms of all these different areas of life. And also see a gallery version. So instead of looking at it vertically, we can see it horizontally. And so the strength over here, I can see all of the things I had achieved within strength. Important one for me would be creativity, because again, persistence is about things like meal prep and maintaining your house. So random stuff like lawn mowing, I'd put all my meal prep here. I got some blackout curtains for my room. And yeah, over here is the experience. This is like a wall of all of the fun things that I did. Bouldering was a cool one, going to Piha and surfing, climbing up this mountain and all that. And yeah, one of the most important ones is creativity, is all of this work that I've done within life game design uh, and building it. So I'm really glad and grateful for that. Intelligence. Last year, I read so many books, but this year, I didn't have the time to read as many because I just had to do work instead of learning stuff. So I am a bit sad about the fact that I couldn't read as many stuff, but honestly, the trade-off is fine. So yeah, just going through the different views again and seeing all the different highlights from the last 3 months it's actually insane because, like I said, 5 years ago, this like set of highlights would have been like a whole year's worth of highlights. Now it's just 3 months worth of highlights. And there's a cool kind of random little thing that you can do with your tasks as well, although I don't really focus on it. You can just see the stack of all the things you've done within each of these, and these actually load to more. So you can see like all the individual days that I went to the gym if I just scroll down within this month, and all the work that I did on the app. I've been doing meditation, which is good, but I kind of need to take it that step further. But yeah, it just shows you like that undeniable stack of proof of what you've been doing and who you are. And yeah, I guess I've really stepped it up in terms of tracking it in March, because this went from 176 in February to 271 in March. So that's about it. That's the reflection. So in this last section here, basically what we do is complete the reflection, and I'll show you what happens when you do it. So basically click this button and it will add the reflection itself as an achievement. So over here it says this reflection has been added as a Life Force project achievement. If you have time, it would be wise to do some designing, and that is this stage because we've completed reflect. Now we go into design, but it's a bit late here. I'm not going to do that. I'll probably do that a little bit later in the week, but I know it's something that I have to do. And it says, if not, let yourself relax. You've had an amazing season. And that is a wrap on how you reflect on the season in all these different areas of life and give yourself the credit to do it. So if you want to join the alpha testing team who is helping me design this and is helping me really make it the best life management app for gamers, join me in the Discord server, which is also in the link in the description, and I'd love to see you there. And I'd love for you to do your own reflection using this system to help you understand what you want to do for next season. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope I'll see you in the community.